Right, so before we start, I just wanted to let you guys see that this is in fact an empty text file. And this is the demonstration of the to-do list project that we did. I'm Priyash Nayak and I worked with Utkarsh Upadhyay, Aditya Jadhav and Kevin Kankia for this project. And let's get started. So this is how the base UI looks like. It is resizable depending on how the Windows resolution is. So here's that. You could add a list to this, so let's name it my list. Could add, so you can add a number of tasks to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a task called task one, and I'm just demonstrating this. So let's give it a deadline, let's say an hour. So it's May 5th, 2022. It's due in an hour, and we follow the 24-hour format for this. Otherwise, because it's strict. And if you don't want to give a deadline, you can just leave it be, and I'll show that in a sec. So if I go and create a task two, I'll leave. You can leave the description empty as well and give it another priority. Let's give it a high priority. So you can see the task names are highlighted. Here's a description. It doesn't have one because it's optional. If you give it a deadline, it shows it in this format. Otherwise, it just features no deadline and it considers it as an immediate task due. It has priorities that you can set. So I'm gonna throw in like two more tasks just for convenience. And for this, I'm gonna give it a deadline of 15th May. Let's give it noon. Let's also set it to high and create yet another task. Um, I don't really care much about this and let's give it low. So you can see the different orientations which how the tasks are featured, but they're color coded depending on how their priority is. By default, they're sorted by the time they were created, which is here. You could sort them by their priorities. So like the higher deadlines, higher priority tasks come first, then the medium priority, and then the low priority. And they're just assigned on the way they're created. If there are like multiples, as you can see, like task 2 was created by task 3, and both of them are high priority, so they come in that order. If I go by deadline, however, it's gonna feature the task with no deadline as immediate task because it's gonna assume that you didn't give it a deadline means it's due probably immediately, and it just goes under the assumption and arranges them in the order they were created. And to just go and show that, I'll just create a task 5 as well. And once again, I'm gonna give it high priority, and you can see it goes in the order of its creation. And then, of course, it's this, which is due in an hour, and then May 15th. You could create more lists, so like list 2, and give it another task just for funsies, and let's close out of it. So I want running this again. My tasks are still here, and they are sorted by the time they've created, and that's one of the wow factors we have alongside the priority distribution as well, is that we can save these tasks locally. And other thing is, you can also set a bunch of these to complete. So I'm gonna do that. You could always go back and edit them. So like I'm gonna add edited description to this. I can't spell. I'm gonna make this medium priority now because I don't care about it. And oh well, this is completed. It already has some stuff. Let's give it a date as well. So let's give it the day of the exam. So let's say that's uh, I think it's this time. Exam. Let's give it a high priority. Yeah, can also change the name of the list over here. I'm gonna delete this task. I don't care about it. And you could also go ahead and name this as list one. You could, well, how about I just show you this first? These have been modified over here, and if I run the code once again, you can notice that these changes were in fact over there, and I can go ahead and delete a list or delete a task as well. And if I run it again, it's gone. And we also have restrictions like it can't have same name. So if I do that, it's gonna insist I choose a different name, and it's gonna keep this on until I pick the correct name. It can also let's give it a random name. When it's not adding dust to it, so when it tries to save, it's going to notify the user that these lists are empty and they will be discarded. So upon going back to them, it's gone. And once you're done with a task, it's always going to calculate it as complete. And this data is stored inside the model. So even if you uncheck, it's like it stays there. So you can just manually delete your task and like keep track of them. If you want, you can just add more tasks. So if I even if I do something like this over here and give it a very high priority, okay, medium priority, let's say. It's called consider as completed because you're done with that task. Now you should sort it and mess around with it a lot. They're still gonna be organized. And yeah, that's basically it. That's our little to-do list. You could, as stated in the spec, you could add lists to it. You can have multiple lists. Lists cannot be empty. You can add multiple tasks to it. You can add your descriptions to it, deadlines to it. Okay, you must choose a priority for the task. If you don't, it's not gonna accept it. So if I try to run this like this, it's gonna get rid of everything. It's gonna create errors for you. It's gonna, yeah, that's basically it. You are required. But if I go back and do this, it's gonna return that. But this will be an a null task. That's basically it. That's our to-do list. Thank you for watching, and hope you have a great summer.